What you are about to watch is called
SpacePants Visit Cheap City.
SpacePants is the name for the performance artist known as The Tube, and the two musicians that The Tube uses as vessels for expression. Cheap City is a municipality located somewhere in America. Its residents have an unhealthy obsession with candy and dancing. In this performance, you will be introduced to many different characters. They will be represented by the following musical cues. The garbage collector will be represented by Rat Jenkins will be represented by the cranky candy store owner will be represented by It was not very long ago, actually, it was just last year, that The Tube decided to visit Cheap City. He said, the musicians agreed, and off they went. The Tube landed on the outskirts of Cheap City, near the abandoned gold mine. At first, a wave of pure excitement washed over The Tube, but it quickly dissipated when a loud rumbling filled the air. Thought The Tube. One of the musicians pointed down the street to a lumbering garbage truck. It made a noise like this. The Tube commanded the musicians to flag the garbage truck down. The driver pointed his head out of the window and said, "Do you folks need help?" The Tube said, "Oh, no problem," said the driver. "I can give you a ride into town." And off they went. The truck driver dropped them off on 8th Street Avenue, which is around the corner from 8th Street, where they met a most peculiar man. He was wearing a red hat that had the word rat inscribed on the brim. He had a cigarette in his mouth and another behind his ear. He said, "Hey, strangers, what can I do you for?" His name was Rat Jenkins. He was pretty cool. The Tube instructed the musicians to speak to the strange rat man. Even the Tube needs a break sometimes. The musicians began to speak in the language of the rad aliens, which sounds like this. The stranger said, "Well, I don't know what that meant, but I know newcomers when I see 'em, and if there's one thing good old Rat Jenkins knows, it's that newcomers need candy." So Rat Jenkins walked the trio down the street to the neighborhood called Candy Corner. He said, "This is Candy Corner. Didn't you hear the narrator? Anyway, if you're looking for some sweets, there's nothing like Candy Corner." Rat Jenkins walked the Tube into the first store on the corner, the Killbuck Sweet Shop. The owner was very grumpy and very scared of Rat Jenkins. Rat said, "No funny business this time, pal. Just give us what we came for and there won't be any trouble." The Tube said, Listen, everyone's gotta make a living, Rat replied. And so the Tube and the musicians and Rat feasted on their bounty of sweets. Before long, everyone had eaten too much, and they all had stomach aches. The musicians began to groan in a strange alien language. Rat said, "Do you two switch pots when you eat too much candy?" The Tube groaned a positive affirmation. Suddenly, bright blue lights filled the street. "It's the cops! Scram!" Rat screamed. "You'll never catch me. Rat Jenkins, leader of the most feared candy gang in the city, the Fructose Four." And he ran away, leaving the Tube and the musicians to be arrested. The police loaded the Tube and the musicians into the back of the paddy wagon, and off they went. In the interrogation room, Chief Inspector Daniels said, "Who are you?" The Tube said, "Oh, trying to be cute, huh?" said the inspector. "Where are you from?" The Tube said, "I'm not gonna do this all night," said the inspector. "You're gonna have to start answering my questions." Suddenly, the inspector stopped talking, as if compelled to silence by an unknown force. The Tube slowly extended, and once it was at its full length, it dropped to the ground while the musicians made a truly awful noise. It killed the inspector immediately. The Tube said, Diana replied,
Good point.
Jen said,
Time to go?
The Tube agreed and wrapped the musicians in its awesome tubiness and flew into the sky, destroying the police station along the way. And off they went.